You are tuned in to the JDawg and Leevis show. After years of playing together in bands and tons of late-night conversations, it was decided that it was only fair we repeat it all here.
Yes.
Hi,
Yes, hello.
I'm Rufus Staggards from Eastport, Maine.
Hello, Rufus. I'm Parvin Schmootzenberg. Meyer Ski. Schmootzenberg for short.
Where are you from?
Germany, France, you see. It's lovely there this time of year.
Really?
Yes. In this week's installment of JDawg and Leevis, we've got some talk about minivans and a story about our favourite moments playing in a band called Tavern Hill Liars. Perhaps you've heard of it. Of course you have. And what else do we have to talk about? Rufus?
Well, I'll tell you about when I lost.
We don't have to stay in character all night.
When I lost my badge as sheriff of Eastport. Kind of a humbling experience.
That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, well, it's not that interesting, but it's
Kind
the
of.
truth. We used to play together, all four of us,
Right?
and we still do on occasion. Lovely little band we are.
Excellent.
Right, JDawg?
Absolutely.
Right, Leevis?
I'm here with you.
The band is back together.
Welcome, Rufus. Parvin.
Welcome. It's
Here
nice
the,
to be here.
Podcast number 11.
Number 11.
Are you up to
JDawg
11?
and Leevis show.
We are clearly in the double digits now.
Wow.
Double digits.
That's very
Can't
exciting.
deny it.
You guys could be syndicated here in a minute.
Rufus, are you double digits in age yet?
Oh, boy.
They don't make numbers
Yeah.
that big.
Yeah.
So you say you're from Eastport.
Yes, sir.
That's up there in Maine.
It's way up there in Maine. It's a little island off the east coast of Maine. Get any for Easter and you're wet. We look out over a thing called Friars Roads, which is a span of water between Campobello Island and Eastport in Washington County, Maine. And if you remember the movie Sunrise over Campobello about Franklin
I'm not in
Delano's-
double digits in age yet, so I
Okay,
I got
remember
nothing.
that one.
You know
Is
that
it-
one?
if it's not on
Nobody?
Netflix.
I'm missing everybody on this one? Well, I get to see the sunrise over Campobello.
Saw Moonlight in Escanaba.
Anyway.
Who's that horror author that lives in Maine?
Stephen King.
Yeah,
Stephen
that guy.
King. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't understand how his son's name is Joe Hill. It's different.
What?
It is.
Stephen
different.
King's son's name?
Well, his pen name is Joe Hill, which I'm not sure why he went to Hill instead of King.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
You're already there. When you're already at the top, you might as well
is
stay
this
there.
is this the end of our geography segment?
No, actually, it's the end of the show.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you, everybody,
There
for
we go.
tuning in.
Ooh, well, thanks for the invite. Got to run.
So the fantastic thing about tonight, Rufus is the one that deserted Tavern Hill Liars.
That's
He packed up and left one night. We had band practice on a Thursday evening. He left on a Wednesday evening. It was Thursday, and he left the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
And he actually called us from Kennebunkport because he flew out there.
Yep.
And he said, I'm not coming back.
You say Kenny Bunkfort?
Kenny Funkfort.
I thought that was Parvin's middle name.
Don't undermine me.
I won't undermine you.
But tomorrow I will have been undermined.
I believe it's under mound.
Here we go.
That's pretty good.
Underminced.
So yes, Rufus decided to pack up and leave the great state of Illinois and find a better life for himself with the Blue Lobsters.
That's true.
And
true.
I couldn't be any more happy for him.
Is that
Can
his
you
new
get-
band?
Can you? Oh, that's pretty good. Can you get Blue
Blue
Lobsters
Lobster.
right,
Yes, you can.
right at the corner gas station?
No, but you can get them at the grocery store. Right?
Or you can throw a trap out your
you
front
can.
yard and
You can.
I need a
catch your own.
pack of Cool Menthols, a Choco Taco, and a Blue Lobster, please.
Blue lobster, please.
A couple of those toothbrushes. Bottle of Old Harper.
Yeah, my wife has actually considered. You don't have to have a license if you're just a private person, getting a lobster in one trap or whatever. You don't have a license for it. She's trying to figure out a way to rig a lobster trap on her kayak. and paddle out
Drag
into
the
the
bottom.
Bay of Fundy in hunt of one lobster.
The
I'll
Bay
go
of-
to the
the
store
Bay
and pay
of Fundy.
$6.
$6.
I caught a raccoon that way once. Actually, yeah,
In a kayak?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
A lobster trap.
In the Kishwaukee River.
Now that I
You never know what you're going to drag out of that.
In
baby.
the dry season.
So Rufus left town. He's shacked up in Maine, and we've been struggling ever since trying to keep a band together.
Yes.
He was
try to make it back about every 6 months because I miss it so much. I just can't stand it.
well, and,
Apparently, he doesn't miss it so much as to actually tell us that he's coming into town.
Well,
Yeah,
I
well.
wasn't sure how much time I was going to have this.
but at least we got him here in
Yeah,
North Brown
absolutely.
Studios.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Drug him out here. Yeah, yesterday I received a Parvin Schmootzenberg text. Well, not a text, I guess it's a, well, what do you call it, a picture text? Mm-hmm. But it was a text with a picture, and it was a selfie of Rufus and Parvin. And
At
I
our-
said,
at our
that
favorite-
looks pretty recent.
At our favorite band
Why-
watering hole.
Yeah, why are they at Punky's in Lombard, and we're not?
Exactly.
So it was actually very exciting to see that, and I said, get over here, North Brown Studios, and you will come in here tonight.
We'll make it work.
and we'll make it work.
Yeah.
That was at the end of the airport run, so
Oh,
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the 14 hours of travel to get here.
yeah.
and just to be here.
And
Just
it
to
was
be here.
literally planes, trains, automobiles, and a bus.
And a bus.
And a kayak.
The ferry.
And
Kayak.
short time in a kayak.
So we played in bands for many, many, many years, many, many moons ago, right here in this exact space. I think is where some of the
Where it
original
started.
magic happened.
Right there.
This
Yeah.
is
Right
where
where
it
this studio is.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question,
kinda
Mr.
cool.
JDawg.
Is this a quiz?
Sort of.
Are you going to tickle me?
I could.
You stay over there.
What was the first song that you and I worked on with when we first got the seed of the idea to put this band together? What was the first song we worked on?
Driver 8.
No, that's the song I worked on.
Oh.
Well,
And you and I played it this
Little-
very spot.
Little Nicky, I think, by
and we
Prince.
said,
wasn't it?
boy, it'd really be nice to have a, and
is it Windfall?
no,
No, that's where the first
No.
magic happened.
yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Christ, I
And
guess
ever
we've been
since.
playing for a long time. I don't know.
You don't know?
Too many good times. I lost that one.
Gideon Brown.
Oh. In a boat like Gideon
A
Brown.
Boat Like Gideon Brown by Great Big Sea.
Yes, we did.
Do I get to hear that one?
Good number.
Oh,
That was
That
that
one's-
was
I can bring
that
it up
was
on YouTube.
pre-Leevis.
yeah, that was pre-Lee.
This.
Leevis was a latecomer,
He was.
but he's actually pretty much a veteran now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I do remember Gideon Brown, and that's
Sticky like a
that was
booger.
by Great Big Sea.
Yes.
One of their goodies and oldies.
Mm-hmm.
Great Big Sea is one of the best bands that ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Among.
Leevis. All right, you're no
Yeah,
longer.
okay.
He's out. So we started out, and it was
We're
Rufus
certainly
and
the
I.
best band to steal music from
Absolutely,
in the Midwest.
absolutely, because then, hence the name Tavern Hill Liars.
Mm-hmm.
We say we wrote this song as long as you didn't hear it,
That's right. That's right.
and then we get done and nobody heard it, and we say we wrote it.
Yeah.
So they were a great band to steal music from, being from Canada.
Exactly.
So,
That was
You know,
part of it.
I tried that the other day with "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." And I don't think I
Didn't
fooled
sell that
anybody.
one, did it?
Yeah.
That might have gotten a little bit more radio play than
Might
most
have,
Great Big Sea stuff.
I think it was my delivery.
There was
I don't think I sold.
There was
it.
one guy in the corner of the bar yelling as Leevis is playing his slow version of "Baby Hit Me One More Time," and he's yelling, "That's Britney Spears!" Like he was informing everyone and letting everyone know, and he was dead serious. Guys, that's Britney. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. We were about to say Leevis wrote it. So
know it.
So we played in bands for many, many years. It started out with me and Rufus here in the North Brown studio basement, and then we drug in a violin player from the Lombardia of Illinois.
Yeah.
And he worked,
Scumbag.
him and Rufus, that would be Parvin over here, he would be that would be the fiddle player from Lombardia. Parvin actually worked selling seed with Rufus, or in the seed business.
I
You
bought-
didn't
I bought
you
seed
bought
from
the
him.
seed
Bought
from
seed from-
Rufus.
yes.
Why don't you elaborate on that a little bit?
Don't smoke
How
the
they
seed.
met there
Yeah,
in the
this is
story
not
of
to
the
smoke.
seed.
Well, actually, we had been acquaintances through business, and I really didn't know he was a musician. And we were
You're still not sure about that.
Still on the fence.
We were taking a break from a hectic day of trade shows, and I had this Great Big Sea CD in my truck, and I said, boy, you got to hear this piece of music. It's really good. We went out and listened to it, and come to find out, he says, well, I'd like to play fiddle on that. And I said, I didn't know you played fiddle. I said, I thought you were a piano player. And he said, well, I can play that too. And I said, bring them both. I said, can you sing? He goes, I don't know, never tried. Oh, that was another guy.
That wasn't me.
And that may be one of the funniest stories I ever
It will.
heard,
And it
will
will
definitely
definitely be told tonight.
We had a guy show up for a rehearsal
Many years later.
many years ago. We were auditioning for a bass player.
It
Yes.
wasn't me, was it?
No.
Nope.
We were auditioning for a bass player. This guy shows up with an accordion and
And a harmonica, wasn't
and
it?
a harmonica. And I said,
Where's the bass?
where's the bass? And he goes, I'm going to buy one so I can learn how to play it, but I'll learn. And well, probably not on our dime you're not going to learn. I said, can you sing? And he, honest to God,
Yeah,
said,
deadpan.
I don't know. I've never tried it. I said, you can't be serious. You've never tried to sing before. And he went, no. And the three of us looked at each other and went, okay, time to go now.
I got the scoop shovel and picked all our jaws up off the floor.
And that's when Rufus picked up his guitar, and that man doesn't remember what happened later.
No, he doesn't. He eats a lot of soup now, though.
Did he?
It's really hard to sing, and I can't talk with them.
Oh, my gosh.
Did he or did he not say something about trying to sing in the shower or something with the shower?
You might have.
Yeah,
you might
I
have.
don't know.
He's like, he said, I think I might have tried to sing in the shower.
Yeah, it was
Like he
just-
couldn't even remember if he sang in the shower.
Yeah, I've never heard anything like it.
It was pretty amazing.
It truly was.
And we let him go throughout the night and audition and do everything, and he wasn't much
But we
better
didn't
on the
want
harp
to be
either.
rude to him. We just wanted to beat him.
All right, so it didn't work out.
So he didn't work out.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But anyway, so we find out that Perrin not only can play piano, but he is a very good fiddle player, and he never played piano again with the band. And
Right.
He did bring it here once.
yeah, he did once.
Brought the
first
chord
night.
board. The
Did I
board,
bring it
electronic
one time?
He
one.
brought it one time here, and then I took it to
And then
fix the B key on it, and you didn't have it back for a year.
Camped out on BJ's front porch for the next 10 years.
That's my little brother.
Little Beach. So,
Rufus' older brother, Beej.
He brought it over here, and then the song that I was talking about, which was Windfall, by Uncle Tupelo.
Sweet, sweet tune.
We played that song, and there was a third vocal that needed to be in there,
Yeah.
and we hit a certain part of the song, and Parvin laid it out there on the line, and we actually stopped, and, we all took our clothes off
Yeah.
and began to aggressively touch each other, and it didn't go on very long, maybe 30 seconds or so.
That's all it took.
Put the clothes back on, finish the song, and
It's
knew
about
that-
my upper limit.
and we,
Say that's
we
all
knew
it takes.
we knew that was a trio right there.
Mop on aisle 3.
And went through a few bass players along the way. There's another bass player named Ed, and who now lives in Chicago. He was with us for 3 years.
Couple 3 years,
Yeah.
yeah.
Couple 3
He
years.
did good.
Big handsome guy.
He did do good.
He
He's
is
a
a-
very
he's a
handsome
sharp
guy.
looking
He was a very handsome
And if you
man.
don't think he's handsome, he makes you think that he's handsome.
He'll punch your face and make you unhandsome.
And
that was
then,
kind of a cool entrance. Because it was actually a show here in
Wasn't it at
not
Carl's?
too far away from North Brown Studios.
It was at Carlsbad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carlsbad Tavern.
Yeah.
And we were in the middle of it or towards the end of the show, and he comes up to us. I think maybe we were tearing down after
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, yeah.
And he walks up, plain as day, and kind of gets our attention and says, hi, I'm Ed. I'm your new bass player.
Yes, he did.
Just like that.
And I said, do you have a bass? And he said, yes, I have a stand-up bass. I said, can you sing? He goes, yeah. Well, okay, that's 2 pluses.
and he was in.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
And all that other guy had to
Hell
do was
of an
say, I
audition.
have a bass and I can sing, and he'd have been in.
Yeah,
He would have followed along with the
That's
fame and
all.
fortune that we found over the years.
exactly.
Yeah. Really captured lightning in that bottle.
So, yeah,
We did.
Ed moved back to Chicago. He was out in the DeKalb County here for a while, but he moved back to Chicago where he wanted to be, and it just became too difficult to practice.
Yeah.
So we separated ways.
Geographically challenged.
It was very-
during those years.
It was. Lombard's enough,
That's pretty bad in
Yeah.
and of itself. Yeah.
but we made that one work. And then we kind of sat back for a little bit, didn't really know what to do, went back to the trio, and then along came Leevis, and I like to describe him as he was always around. He's always around.
Yeah.
Always around.
And I've known him since high school. We've been over this. I've known him but didn't know him.
Yep.
And I describe him as the girl next door that I should have been banging this whole time. We were friends the whole time.
I'm not
and-
sure I never heard those words come out of your mouth, but I couldn't agree more.
Well, there's no better way to put it than on here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just going to
of
sit
course
here
he-
quietly.
Works for me.
he did bring the wig tonight, too.
Forgot the clown makeup.
So he comes in, and of course it's still
Careful,
it's still on
careful.
Rufus's back.
Oh, my God.
Yes, we're going to put the explicit tag on this show. Just ruin that. This was family friendly. So Leevis came in and, of course, got along with everybody. He already knew everybody, and he was already doing a solo act and picked up the bass and just rolled with it, and it just never looked back.
Dovetailed quite nicely, yes.
Yeah.
And he's a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man.
I won't make you feel like you're. What was it?
The
What the other guy do?
Ed.
Make you feel like you're not. Something about being handsome.
Oh,
So handsome you're not going to feel handsome. Something
Right.
like that.
You're not going to make us think that you're handsome.
Yes.
right.
That's
we
what
already,
it is.
We already know you're handsome.
That's not what I was getting
Slightly
at.
less assuming. Yes.
Yes.
My wife always says you're charming.
Charming.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take charming.
That's nice.
I'll take charming.
Yeah.
A wonderful, engaging
I'll take
stage
charming
presence, to be
from
sure.
an older woman.
I'll take charming for 300, Alex. So
What is stuck in my vagina? Did I get it right?
I think you did.
Yeah,
No.
that it's probably bacon.
If you're Ooh, if you're referring
That's quite a sandwich.
Oh, a vagina and bacon
Vagina and
sandwich?
bacon?
Hello.
Big old bowl of tomato soup.
if you're referring to a booby trap from the roller
Forget
derby
about it.
girls, then yeah, that's a hell of a sandwich.
Yeah, that's a holdover from the Derby Girls show.
That'll keep you going.
I was waiting for the moment, and that was kind of it. So, anyway,
Well, thank you for interjecting.
pardon the pun.
Who brought the bacon? So yeah, we got together and we played with Leevis for maybe a 2-tree year.
Oh,
More than that.
A
Four,
pinch.
tree.
I don't
Was it
know.
tree 4?
Tree 4, I think.
Maybe tree 4, and
Whatever.
then before Rufus packed up.
The band is pretty close to 15 years old now.
12.
12. Okay.
Well, yeah, it was. We started in 2002.
Right. It
Okay.
was right at the end of
Yeah.
02.
So
That would be closer to 14.
14-ish.
Yeah, but I've been gone for 2 years, so.
Well,
I mean,
but it hasn't necessarily stopped.
That's true.
You know,
That's true. Yeah.
still a good couple shows a year.
Slowed down.
But that's a pretty significant chunk of time when
It
you
is.
think about it.
Well,
It
just to prove
You'd
that
think we
this
would have gotten
band,
better by now.
you would think
Yeah, you really would.
this
Sheer repetition on it. But no.
this particular band here, we do get together for a show or two a year, and it just goes to show all the hard work that was put in because we played the apple orchard a year after Rufus left,
Yes.
and we ripped
With
off
one rehearsal.
with one rehearsal.
Right.
He came into town. We had one rehearsal, and then we ripped off 4 hours of music.
Yeah.
Well, we played the same set 5 times, but it was still
That's
4
okay.
hours in length.
I think ripped off 4 hours of music adequately describes the situation.
Yeah, I'll edit that out later.
Yeah.
It's all covered, so.
So when he comes in town, we do that. As a matter of fact, this year we have 3 shows booked in the fall.
Is it
And
3
he's-
now?
And he's leaving Sunday. We won't see him till then. Isn't it 3?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well,
Did
we're
you
doing
did
we're
you
doing the
book
winery.
Edwards?
I have not booked
Okay,
Edwards yet.
so it's 2.
Well, we're doing the winery,
We're doing
Oh,
the
I didn't
winery,
know
we
that.
got in the orchard.
and then the apple orchard in Malta,
And the wedding
and the wedding.
Yep.
Wow.
for our old sound man,
Correct.
That's like
Mr. Melly.
officially the second world tour.
Yeah, it is.
If Leevis pulls off the Edwards apple orchard, that's
Then
That's a
I'll
4-banger. And we get a tour shirt.
4-banger and
And you get a
everybody
tour
gets a
shirt.
free
Yep.
tour shirt.
$50 each and a bottle of wine.
That's right.
There's no way I'm going to make it through 4 shows, but that's okay.
Well, I don't know when the Edwards thing will happen, if it'll happen. But I did send off a, quote, demo tape, unquote, which I had to put together, which Wasn't too bad. I think I sent it
you
off.
sent it off.
Yeah, okay.
It was a nice batch of snippets.
Yeah. Just-
So yeah, I like the fact that we book more shows when Rufus is in Eastport
Yeah.
rather than sitting right here.
Just holding you back.
Holding
Being
us back.
here.
So when you got to Eastport, the last I heard, and this was over the Skypes. Are you familiar with the Skypes?
Yeah.
Well, you were there.
Skype the beach.
So you're probably familiar with Skype. We were Skyping
Skype the
Eastport.
roof.
Skype the roof.
Skype the Rufus.
And the last I heard over the Skype was he was the new sheriff in town. He was the new sheriff of Eastport. If you could elaborate on that story, because it's one of my favorite stories I've ever heard come out of your
Well,
mouth. And that's saying a lot.
Heard a couple, have you?
I've heard a couple.
Eastport is a real artsy town. They've got quite a few little bars that all have entertainment. And my first 2 or 3 weeks there, I didn't know anybody, so I was hanging around in the bars, just checking out,
getting the lay of the land.
getting the lay of the land, see who plays what, how they play this and that. And apparently, what I mistook for the quality of musicians there were just open mic night mopes that just came with 1 or 2 songs, and I thought,
I can hang with
I
these
can
guys.
hang with this. So I went to a kind of an upscale big boy open mic night at this one bar one night, and I brought my guitar, but I left it out in the car because it was really crowded, and I didn't want to just go crashing into people with it. I thought, I'm going to get the lay of the land here, and then I'll go back and get it and wow everybody, and it'll just be amazing. I walked in the door, and they were in the middle of a break, and these 2 guys take the stage and proceeded to play 2 hours of absolutely mind-blowing jazz, both of them equally skilled, swapping leads back and forth, chord progressions that make you cry. And I schlepped out the back door, got in my car, and drove me and my guitar home and threw the badge out the window. I was
Because the first
I was humbled.
This first self-proclamation, though, of a new sheriff came before that, didn't it?
Oh, yes.
Didn't you go into a bar and somebody was like,
Oh, yeah,
you got to hear this guy. He's the best guitarist in town.
Yeah, they said, oh, this guy's really, really something. And he was doing the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Not only did he not know the chords, he just sang the parts of verses randomly. He'd sing one line of the first verse, the third line of the fifth verse, the fifth line of the last verse, and just like stream of consciousness, Edmund Fitzgerald, to chords that didn't match up with it. And this was supposedly one of the really, really good players in town. I went, oh boy, if I could sing the words in order, I got this beat. So yeah, it was a very interesting revelation.
So now you're maybe not the sheriff, but you're definitely a senator.
Absolutely.
You've been there long enough.
Deputy.
I'm a vice president now.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
Of?
that's true. Of the Arts Center.
Kenny Bunkport.
Yeah.
Of Kenny Bunkfort.
Parvin Schmootzenberg's middle name.
Is that your middle name? Kenny Bunkfort?
Kenny who?
Kenny Bunkfort?
Sure, I'll go with that.
Parvin Kenny Bunkfort Schmootzenberg and Halamina Schmowowitz?
Element OP.
Bergmeyer ski.
Oh, it's the Meyerberg ski.
Stun.
There's a song in there somewhere.
Ski.
There's definitely a song in there. The other night, Leevis and I tried our best to keep the tradition of this band going, and we went to a small little pub here in the Genoa, Illinois, that just opened called Mini Hans.
Ah.
Or is it Minivans?
It could be minivans.
Mini Hans.
I got there in a minivan.
As well did I.
That counts.
And we went in and we pulled out the songbook. It was kind of an open mic, but this guy has a set of drums. He's got about 3 guitars hanging up on the wall. He's got an old PA and 2 microphones. And he leaves them hooked up all the time, and anyone can walk up and play them. And it kind of works, because when you have bad karaoke, it's still a good night.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a bad act followed by a good act, everybody's still having fun. And he gets free music.
Yeah.
So it's working. The drum set's to be desired. He said it was his when he was 12. And he's probably, I think he's like 58 now.
Toys R Us model.
Toys
So
R
it's up there. He hasn't changed the skins in 30 years. And
The cymbals are old pan lids.
so Exactly. So he gets up there, and he always starts it off. And his name is Tom, and he went up there with the band director for the local high school was on the drums.
Oh, that's who that was.
Right.
Okay.
And I didn't make the correlation that he's actually my daughter's clarinet teacher.
What?
Okay.
And I had met him before, and I just didn't put two and two together. But he was on the drums, and then Tom got up on the guitar. And Tom can bang out some chords. Tom can't sing all that well, but he's entertaining. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge difference between not being able to sing and entertaining. Yeah. And he did it. And when he breaks into Whitesnake, whoa! It made Leevis and I go out and buy another drink. We're going to stick around for a little while.
It's true.
This could be good.
And he doesn't even, after one song ends, he gives you about 3 seconds to think about it, and he's already on to the next one. And there's no plan. He's just doing it. Mm-hmm. So they played about 8 songs.
Just thumbing through the book.
Exactly. And they get done, and then Leevis and I said, do you mind if we head on up? And he's like, by all means. So Leevis went and grabbed the guitar, and I looked around, and I said, I haven't played the drums in a good 10, 12 years, maybe 20 years. But I'm going to do it. And he played some THL favorites that we've played, the MTA song that we always play. Mm-hmm. And I ripped out some drums on there, and it was actually, I wish there was video.
That
you pulled it off?
Video.
Totally.
I actually pulled it off for about 12 songs.
Retrospect, yeah. We get done, we smile at each other, we're like, no pictures, no video, no anything.
Never happened.
Only what we're telling you now.
Yes.
And that's where Leevis played the Britney Spears song. And playing drums to Britney Spears.
You did fine.
It was a challenge, but I made it through. And when we got done, we realized that being in the band together and playing all the songs that we played and all the harmonies we've done, we could just rip it off and make it successful. Whether I was on drums, whether I was singing backup, whether he was singing backup, it didn't matter. We could just sit down and play music. And that all came from this band.
Right.
Because we've spent so much time on harmonies, and we spent so much time on getting it right, and so much time with BJ's 2 fingers in my face saying, get it right or get out. The famous look of him looking off in the direction, pointing only his fingers are looking at you, but he's not. And when that happens...
That means shut up.
It means shut up and listen because you're doing it wrong. We always refer to Rufus here as the bus driver.
Yes.
And he drove this band. He started this band. He's the one that had the late night nightmare and woke up and said, we're the Tavern Hill Liars.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
As he came across in a dream there. So this all stemmed from him. And when he moved away, a piece of it died, but we carried on the best we can. And when he comes back to town, we get together and we just can't get enough of it and playing the music again.
Yeah, I on a serious note, and I don't know that I've told you this, and I'll take this opportunity to tell you. When we played at the last job we played at the winery at Christmas time, when we played Windfall and got to that bridge and sang that song, I couldn't sing it. I had tears in my eyes. Like, this is where it started. This is the spot.
Right there. Yeah.
When the three of us knew that we really had something sweet. And when we got to that place, the song, I didn't see it coming. But when we hit that line, I just choked up. It was a very sweet moment.
I've had a couple of those
There
over
is
the
a
years.
bootleg copy of that show.
There is.
Ooh.
So, just saying.
I've heard the boot part. I haven't heard the leg part yet.
I remember it was shortly after you had left to go to Maine, I think, and you were back. It was in the summertime. We were in my backyard, and we cracked off a cappella number. You make me worthy. I was practically in tears at the end of that, just because it resonated and tickled that bone way deep down inside it.
And there's so many
times.
There's so many times where we've beat a song to death in a night and never got it right where we wanted it. But then Rufus goes away for 6 months, comes back, and we nail it in your backyard on the first try. So maybe we should just keep practices to every 6 months.
That seems a dovetail with my
meet in
busy
Lombard,
schedule, too.
drink at Punky's, and then rip off a couple songs.
It saves a lot of time.
Saves a lot of
A lot of gas. A lot of livers.
And when you're going every 6 months, everybody kind of forgets the set.
Exactly.
So it's like new.
fresh.
Like, oh,
It's
look,
always fresh.
they got a new set. Listen. So I think that works out well.
Yeah.
This year when we do the apple orchard, I think for the 4 hours used to seem like a really long time. But the last time we played, I didn't think it was enough.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
It goes by quicker the more time passes, I suppose. If you could put your head around that.
All right, let's think about this. It goes by quicker.
The more
It's a Star Trek thing.
Yes.
Is it time continuum?
You might want to hit that with a
Space
gravimetric
folding.
Space
pulse.
folding. That's
Right.
that's
Temporal
where my head
vortex.
hurts. Isn't that the Vijiji?
The Vijiji principle.
Vegeta.
Vegeta.
Vegeta. It's Vegeta.
I'll have the steak Vegeta.
Yeah.
I think if we're talking about what made or broke THL, we're talking about what made it, and we have to take our hats off to Mr. Frenchie. I don't even know his full name, to be honest
Dana?
with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dana French. He gave us so many opportunities at his. He used to run a open mic at a variety of places.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
places.
he got us into a bunch of what ended up being our favorite places to play.
Yeah. He was a
Over-
real
over the
supporter
years.
of ours. He's been a
Absolutely.
good friend of mine for years and years, and a great player, and just a good guy.
I just wanted to make
that's true.
make sure that if his ears ever hit this podcast, that his name was in
yeah,
it.
Dana French is a good man.
He probably, with his open mics, got us to play on every single venue up and down the Fox River.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did. I mean,
or the whole Fox River Valley, Batavia, Geneva,
because he knew
St.
everybody
Charles.
along
Batavia, yeah.
that
He said
corridor, and he was just really an advocate of ours. He loved us.
Yeah.
And if you go up north, it's not one that he necessarily got us, but it's on the Fox River in Dundee is when
Yeah.
we played the Clearwater Theater.
That was a great place to play.
And the Clearwater Theater, let me tell you,
That was a good show.
nice venue, great place to play. The stage was probably a good 8 feet up, so you were literally above the crowd, rock star status.
Yeah.
Played several times with my foot up on the monitor
Yeah.
just to get that status.
Some of the best house sound ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was really
And we played there maybe 3 times,
3 times, I think.
something like that. And one of the best stories is when my dad had a motorhome.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And my dad actually went out and bought Tavern Hill Liar signs
Placard.
that were made that were screwed onto the side of the motorhome. So as we pulled in, Tavern Hill Liars was on the side of the motorhome.
And it
And-
was a big boy motorhome, too.
Right. And we were playing, I believe, with a band called Fred Schaefer,
Fred Schaefer Band.
the Fred Schaefer band,
I
which
think
was
that's
totally
right.
not our genre. But
Yeah.
they pinned us together. And he was from out of town. He was, whether it was Michigan or Iowa, but they were not local. And when we got off the bus, he comes over and says, "Where are you guys from?" It's about 20 miles west of here, out by Sycamore. And he just cocked his head to the side and looked at me, and I said, "Yeah, that's our bus driver. We pay him well." My dad waved at him, and my dad just got a kick out. He parked the bus. Here we are with the tour bus, and we were going to the Clearwater Theater.
That was very fun.
But we went in there and played, and the goofiest thing, they're not in business anymore, and there's a reason for that. Well, some of it was, I believe, serving underage
Yeah.
drinkers.
Could be.
was a big
That
portion
could
of
cause
it.
a problem.
But they ran this really weird situation where you had to sell tickets,
Oh, that's right.
and
was
you sell
awful.
tickets to people, and whether they were $10, $8, I don't remember what they were. But you had to sell 20 tickets to get into the pot. And what I mean by that is once he got all the money from all the tickets, he'd throw it in a pot. You didn't get any of it unless you sold at least 20 tickets.
Yeah.
Then, once you sold 20 tickets and you got in the pot, you got to split 40% of the pot with the other bands. So whoever got their 20 tickets sold got to split 40%, and he took 60. So I think we walked out of there our first night with about $18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he just felt bad for us, and we didn't sell 20 tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the third time, we sold about 45 or close to 50 tickets and walked out of there with $18.
Wasn't that the time we bought tickets we bought all the tickets, or
We're basically paying.
we bought them out
So we could try and make
so
money.
we could make money, and we still didn't
And we
make
lost.
get a
any
cut
money.
of
Made
the door.
$18.
Yeah.
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 So,
But it was a wonderful place to play.
but they are actually, there's a guy that bought it, and he also bought the old barn next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I thought
And
it was coming back.
He's
around.
rejuvenating. It's not going to be Clearwater Theater.
Yeah.
But how fun would that be to play there
That
again?
would be fun.
That
was
would be
a
super
beautiful
cool.
place.
That's the one place we actually got to take our picture of the name on the marquee.
Yeah.
Fred Schaefer,
Yeah.
Tavern Hill Liars. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, up and down the Fox Valley, we played just about everywhere that a band could play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
Even off the river. Remember Nico's Lodge?
Nico's
Played that
Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes,
That
yeah.
was-
Yep.
yeah. County Fair,
County Fair.
That's right.
The Mega Center
Mega Center.
at the Pheasant Run.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Got to meet Pat Foley. Is that what his name is?
Pat
Yeah.
Foley
Yeah.
from the Chicago
Cubs
Cubs.
broadcaster.
And there's a story there too.
Oh, that's right.
We had 3 songs ready to play because we were just playing in between like some
It's
groups.
like a segue between speakers.
Because it was a
and whatnot.
conference going on,
Yeah.
and he was the keynote speaker, and we were to go up and play just before he got on, just to warm the crowd up. So we had
Yeah.
3 songs prepared, and one of them was I can't remember the name of the song now.
Rocky Top.
Rocky Top. Exactly.
Oh, that's the one he asked for, yeah.
And that was one of the ones that we had ready to go.
Yeah.
And he comes up to us right before and he says, "Oh, just want to meet the band. I'll be talking after you guys. By the way, you guys play that country stuff, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you know Rocky Top?" And we said, "We sure do, and we'll play that for you, Pat. We'll pull that one out of our back pocket." And we had rehearsed it like 17 times just before we got up there. And we ripped it off, and he actually, in his keynote speech, had looked over
Gave
at
us
us
a little shout out
and said something to the effect of, "If the Cubs can play as good as these guys played Rocky Top."
Then we might have something.
And it was a golden moment.
And they probably finished in last place that year, so.
So there was there, and
That
then
really doesn't narrow it down, but
now
No, that's true. That's true.
the most people we played in front of, I would have to say, is at the wine festival down
Illinois
by Starve
Jazz
Rock.
Festival, yeah, that was a good show.
Or that was
I was
actually
there for that one.
Yes, you were.
That was during my era.
And this was with Leevis involved, and that's why once we got him, we said, "Well, now we're ready for the big time. We've got the bass player." And that was I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a wine festival. It was at Matheson State Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge stage setup. It was really awesome to play up on that stage. It was outdoors.
That felt we felt like rock stars that day. 'Cause
And-
pretty much you just walk up on stage with your instrument and your guitar cord, and everything else is ready. Just
Right.
plug in
And
good.
guys taking care of you.
Right. And
Yeah.
the guy's coming up asking what you need, and he's sitting back there with his iPad
Yeah.
out in front of us, which is hooked up to all the equipment behind us. And he's saying, "All right, you need more on mic one." He's just touching his iPad.
Yeah. That was
And
our first exposure to wireless.
That was really cool.
Right. I was going
Desk
to say, back
control.
in that day, that was new and exciting.
Yes.
And so I had a really hard time when they asked me, what do you guys charge for this type of show? And I said, "Well, how many people are going to be there?" And they said anywhere in a given day there could be 5,000 people in and out of this thing. I'm like, "All right, well, let me get with the band and our agent." Our agent, Rufus Staggards. And see what we want to
Agent
do.
Orange.
And we talked about it, and I had even talked with our good friend Michael Gould from Spiderbone.
Oh.
And some of
that's
some of his experience,
Oh, yeah,
because he's
'cause he
played
would-
bigger venues. And I said, what do I charge for something like this? And he's like, "I don't know. Why don't you just throw $1,000 out there?" I'm like, "I don't know. We never made any kind of money like that." I said, "I'm just going to ask for 800." I said, 800 would be great, because that's like 200 a piece. That's big time money.
And this was organized by the winery folks that we knew.
Yeah, who
Correct.
recommended us for the gig.
Who had already paid us for other winery things. So
Right.
it's not like we're
Local,
going
yeah.
in fresh.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway.
I came up with that figure, and I thought that would be good. And when I finally called them back and said, "We'll do it for 800," without any hesitation, she said, "Okay."
You
I
should have
said
went for the
800.
grand.
And from that
Should've
moment
went
on,
for 2
$200 grand.
from that moment on, I thought, wait a minute. 800 a piece. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, yeah.
800
Misunderstood.
each thousand.
So, but that was it was still fantastic to play, and $800 is nothing to shake a stick at
No.
for just bringing your instruments and enjoying wine all day.
Yeah.
And
What I remember about that is that you had the stage, and then you had like a viewing area, but then there was a tree line, and behind the tree line was where all the
Wine
the wine booths.
Tasting
Yes,
tents,
right.
yeah.
So you really couldn't see the people.
So we were there very early. So we were one of the first or second bands up. So I was all business, prior to, and then we get done with our set and we come down, and then you go beyond the tree line and you realize just how many people are actually listening to you
Yeah,
play.
what you just
Huge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge crowd.
And it was, the sound system was enormous. I mean, it was the biggest sound
was
system
big.
we've ever played on.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Didn't we share a stage with? Didn't Howard and the White Boys play later that day?
Yes.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a neat claim to fame too,
Yeah.
being a Chicago staple that they are.
Yeah, there was a few popular bands from the local area there. And I mean, when they came up, when they announced the name, you would hear people screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a following.
Yeah,
When we came up, our wives clapped really loud.
I was going to say, people scream when we play, but they're usually running in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
Not again!
Get behind the tree line. It's better back there. So what do we play? Like 6 or 7 songs there?
Oh, no, we
No,
played,
we did a whole-
We played,
Did we play a
hour
whole
and a
set?
half.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, those songs. If you, go,
I still have the set list.
you can actually see those songs on the website. There's if you go to Facebook
Yeah.
and look up Tavern Hill Liars,
Yeah.
you can see some of those videos.
Yep.
Right,
Pretty fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Famcher.
I mean, I feel bad because the camera was mostly focused on me.
That's because you were running the camp.
Yeah,
Oh,
GoPro.
true. Yeah. So yeah, you can check that out there, and I guess any upcoming information about the band, which comes out every 6 months when we update
If you're
it.
lucky.
So, but yeah, and then we moved on. We actually tried to fill another void after Rufus left,
Yes.
and we thought, let's do something a little different. Let's trade in Rufus in his double digit age, and bring in a young, pretty girl
Of single-digit age.
of single digit age. Well,
She's 7.
so we brought a girl into the band, Kara, and did really well.
Yeah.
And she could sing her
Enjoyed
heart
it.
out.
Had a good time.
We just
That was fun.
we got to a certain point where we realized where our heart was in the 4-piece band with the guys doing harmonies and playing the old time country stuff that we like to play, and we had a great time, and we just kind of put the kibosh to that, and no hard feelings, went our separate ways, and we're just going to stick to this 6-month plan, I think.
Yeah.
So because there's just no, I thought a pretty girl would do it, but there's no replacing Rufus.
Wow.
He's awful pretty.
Hey, man, when you talk about a face for radio,
No kidding.
That's not the face I'm looking at.
I don't have a mirror in my house.
It's those knees.
And I don't want to see it either.
oh, the knees.
Yeah.
There's a
yeah.
story about Rufus's knees I could tell you too.
What?
Oh, look at that.
This is news to everybody.
Carlsbad Tavern.
Oh, that
Carlsbad
story.
Tavern. He,
We can leave
Oh,
that.
no.
every year right
I
around
don't
St.
know this story.
Patrick's. And I don't know if he still does it.
I don't know.
But back in the
either.
day, he had what he called the bonniest knee contest
Yeah, on St. Patrick's Day.
on St. Patrick's Day. And this is where you would wear a kilt into his facility,
Carl's.
Carl's, where they serve the beers.
His Carl's awful tavern.
Right. Or what is it? Good food, lousy service? Yes. That's what you get
That'll
there.
bring him in.
And they would set up a bench that the gentleman that entered the contest, the Bonnie's Knee contest, would stand on, and under the bench would be 3 ladies that were judges with blindfolds on, and they would sit as the men scurried from side to side, and they would feel their knees to see who had the bonniest knees.
Yeah.
Now, this is Carlsbad's we're talking about. It wasn't all about the knees.
Oh, no.
They were wearing a kilt for a reason. So we checked out the entire package. From knees,
Yeah.
To ankles.
If you please.
knees if you please.
Did you just say we? You said we.
Did I say
we?
we?
Checked out the
Jim,
entire package.
Jim was a
Oh.
judge
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
at that event.
That dress
the
up.
thing was they were blindfolded too. And they didn't know it was me.
It was that's the
So-
wig you were referring to
I was thinking
earlier.
about Wheaties again. See, when we start talking about this. So, BJ, or Rufus, as we like to call him, decided to jump up there and enter the contest. So he's got the
I was
kilt on.
invited by Carl himself to be part of this.
Now, the girls have no idea who's up there, and they all scurry along, and they got all their touchies and their feelies in. And there's probably 7 or 8 contestants. And they get down, and they got up to, they started like at number 8 and said, number 8 is, because the girls would say, I like number 2, I like number 3, I like, and they put their answers in. So 8th place was this guy, blah, blah, they work all the way up to number 2. And in 2nd place, Rufus Staggards. And I looked over at the 3 ladies, and their jaws were on the floor. And then I look over at Rufus, and he gives them a big wink.
Well, the reason I gave him the wink, and you were right, it wasn't specifically about the knees. They would check everything under the kilt. And at one point, probably the touchiest point, and I use that word advisedly, as she's running her hands up the inside of my thighs, I'm looking over the crowd and I see my wife staring back at me smiling. And all of a sudden, somebody is...
Making you cough?
Like like she's just kind of weighing a bag of cashews. And I just smiled back at my wife. And okay, I hope she's done.
I'll never
And
eat a
I
bag of
moved on.
cashews the same
I
way.
was proud to get 2nd place. Believe me.
Did you, after she weighed the bag of cashews, did you itch at all?
No.
Because you know that poison ivy and poison oak are actually a derivative of the cashew. What? They're in the same family as the cashew. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because I read it on a Snapple cap.
Oh, well, that must be right.
It was
That
real
is-
fact number
That's
1009.
not even remotely right.
I'm going to Google it later.
Find
Those
out.
nuts
now.
are legumes. I don't think poison ivy is a legume.
You got a point there.
Oh, yeah.
You got
I shouldn't have
a
done this
couple
with
of
an
horses.
We're
omnivore.
sitting in a room with a
Uh-huh.
couple of horticulturists
Yeah.
by training.
Yeah.
Who's a whore? What?
You can lead a
He's a cultured whore.
horse to water.
He's a cultured whore. Do they have those in Eastport?
No.
The whores aren't
they're-
cultured there?
No, they're too old.
Oh,
Well, you'd have a lot of culture by then.
No, things are very old there. I have this little bump on my index finger on my right hand. It's just a little round.
Rather
well, as far as I
bump.
know, it's about 20 years old.
And it doesn't hurt. And it was at a rehearsal last week, and I asked one of the people that sings in this octet with me, was a doctor, and I said, Pam, what is this? And she goes, it's an inner something cyst. It's no big deal. She says, does it hurt? I said, no, it doesn't hurt. I said, what can I do about it? And she goes, well, you can do two things. She says, you can come into the office and we can, do a
Freeze
very
it off,
easy,
whatever.
surgical thing. It'll only take a couple of minutes. It'll hurt a little bit and probably hurt for a couple of days, but it's nothing, it's not a big deal. It's not cancer or anything like that. I says, or you could just do it the easy way. I said, what's that? She goes, just put your finger on the table and hit it with a book. I said, what is this, 1850? I said, yeah, I'm going to put my... I said, well, don't break it. Hit it so hard you break it. You just smash it, and it just kind of disappears into the...
But why a book?
Yeah, she should have at least told you to break it to smack it with an iPad.
Yeah, really?
Hit with
Hit
the
it with
time.
a
Stay
book.
current.
I wouldn't go to that doctor.
No.
Probably gonna try and drain your spinal fluid or something.
Yeah, she's got a thing of leeches in her office.
Yeah,
I don't know what that-
exactly.
Hey, those work, man.
I'm not sure if she's a fisherman or a doctor.
Well, she's probably both in that show.
Maybe.
You might be onto something.
She'll fix your teeth, too. And cut your hair.
Here.
Come here, you.
So did you just wind up chewing it off?
No, I'm going to find a book.
Come here, let me get that. Let me gnaw on that for you.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I wonder if I broke it open and bit on it if it tastes like blue lobster.
I don't know.
You are what you eat.
Every time I see a picture of you now, you got one in your hand, so something's a little fishy here.
Lobster.
I think we should just call him the Blue Lobster from now on. I really do.
I think that's Rufus's derby name.
The Blue Lobster.
The Eastport, Maine roller derby team. Blue Lobster.
Or is that a comic book character? I don't even know.
It might be. Blue Lobster. So, what I'd like to do now is I would like for the four of us to reminisce and possibly sing a song. One that we like, that we enjoy.
What do we like?
Not one that the crowd likes.
We're going to learn one?
Pretty short list.
So, why don't we just all sit here and meditate for a moment and then just break out into it.
All
I've already meditated.
Have you meditated?
Yeah, I have, because I meditate quickly.
All right.
I'm a very efficient meditator.
I like this when there's no warm-ups.
No warm-ups.
Someday when my last
are we
line
starting?
is ready. No warm-ups.
How about a 1, 2, 3? A BJ 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Someday when my last line is written, someday when I've drawn my last breath, when my last words on earth have been spoken, and my lips are sealed in death. Don't look on my cold form in pity, don't think of me as one dead. It'll just be the house I once lived in. My spirit by then will have fled. I'll have finished my time here allotted, but I won't be in darkness alone. I will have heard from heaven the summons to come on home. And when my body is in the grave, don't think that I'll be there. I won't be dead but living in the place Jesus went to prepare. And after all is said and done, know that my last earnest prayer is that my loved ones be ready, someday to meet me there.
Well, that's pretty nice.
That went well.
For a one-time run-through.
One-time run-through.
Never had one lesson.
No rehearsal.
Officially.
Never did. Maybe we practiced it, but we never did have a lesson.
Never had one lesson.
One lesson.
Well, look at that. You get Rufus in town. You get Parvin Schmootzenberg to fly in from Germany, France, and he's all messed up with the time right now.
Yeah, he's lagged.
He's
What?
He's a lag bag.
He did keep his pants on the whole show, though.
Not intentionally.
Exactly.
Truly by accident.
So when we start getting towards the end of the show, you know what that means.
Pants
What
come
does
off.
that mean?
It means Lee puts his 10 fingers on the 6-string gilly.
Gilly?
He's got 10 fingers, only 6 strings, but he makes it work. Some of them have to go double time. So I'd like to thank the guests for the evening. I wish this could happen more often. Rufus Staggards from Eastport, Maine, thank you for coming in.
Thank you
Your
very
arms
much
must
for
be
the
very
invitation.
tired from the flight.
Yeah, my arms are really tired. Glad to be here, and
Parvin Schmootzenberg, he actually drove in
he did.
across the Interstate 10, across the Atlantic there.
Number 10.
That's still up and running, right?
That's right.
You didn't have to get on a ferry or anything.
Not at all.
What's the toll for that now?
4.
4. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. THL Reunion Show. We do have shows coming
We do.
up. We'll keep you informed. Stay informed with that on the Tavern Hill Liar website, which is basically Facebook. You search for Tavern Hill Liars. There it is. And we'll be posting all the shows and dates and times on there when we have that finalized.
Like it.
But it'll be mid-September.
Mid-September. Well, it'll be a day before the
Circle
show.
that month on your calendar.
Be a day or two before the show. We'll get that out there.
I've heard of September.
World tour.
World Tour.
Like it.
JDawg and Leevis Show. Of course, you can always reach us right here on www.spreaker.com/JDawg and Leevis. You can reach us on iTunes. All you got to do is go there and click on the search button and type in JDawg and Leevis, and you got 11 podcasts right
Not
there to
even get
listen
there
to.
with just typing JDawg. Or just leave us.
Actually, you don't.
No?
You don't. I've tried
Do
it.
the whole thing?
And you got to space it out. JDawg space and space Leevis. If you don't, you get some real weird stuff. YouTube now. Reach us there.
You, yeah.
Well, you get if you get to our site, you get weird stuff anyways. So you can reach us at YouTube. Go there and search for JDawg and Leevis. We got some posted there now. Every time we post up, it's there. You can reach us on Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah. You can tweet us at JDawg and Leevis. I think that's how you say it. After 10 podcasts, I think I finally got that right.
Boy.
We still have 2 followers. Again, it's my brother-in-law and some Spanish guy that doesn't know how to speak English. He's real good looking, though, from his picture there.
Your show's muy bien.
2 followers. So, yeah, you can reach us at all those spots and find about upcoming shows, give us ideas. We will be announcing on podcast number 12 the winner of the T-shirt contest. So make sure you get those answers in. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go back and listen to podcast 10, where we give all of the entry rules to win a free T-shirt.
Nice.
You can see that T-shirt on the Facebook page. JDawg and Leevis. Acoustically sound
And
sexy. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Leevis, thank you as always.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Gentlemen, I bid you adieu
I bid you adieu.
Adieu.
and good night. As always,
What?
at the end of every practice, you got to go farting around and messing everything up. Everything. Oh, damn it, I'm still recording.
Buenos dias, Francisco reporting for Mexican Word of the Day on the show of Jaime, Dog, y Levi's. Mexican Word of the Day, tissue. If you don't know how to do it, let me teach you.